Hello, everyone, and welcome to Maggie's Possum Journey. Well, till the last episode, I had told you about our journey of how we had an amazing road trip to Kerala and how Maggie had all her first time experiences in these few days. We discovered a new side of Maggie, and she discovered a new side of road trip and being with the family all together. Now it was time for us to get into a new state altogether, which was Tamil Nadu, and the place was Kodaikanal. Well, I start with showing you how Maggie really was tired by the end of the entire road trip. Maggie generally loves road trips with us, but as you saw, this time she displayed that very long journeys makes her tired as well. I was happy to know that sometimes Maggie's energy even dips. She's not always the very high on energy person. Well, the minute we entered Kodaikanal, it had become little dark and it was very chilly and an awesome weather that had to welcome us. Maggie quickly wore her sweater like all of us put our woolens through. And from our room, she went to inspect my parents' room after taking a little rest on the floor. The property was beautiful, the rooms were large and very nice, and as you can see, Maggie was there to look after all the rooms and how they were in her own way. She was so happy. Can you see her tail just running around and wagging? This is a display of how happy Maggie gets when she loves the place. This was my parents' room, and here we got comfortable and decided that we'll get our dinner to this room and we'll have dinner all together. But for Maggie, because all her arrangements were done in my room, I thought first let us have some dinner. Meanwhile, Maggie can rest. And once we go back to our room, we'll give Maggie the dinner that she generally likes to have in her own peace and tranquility. Meanwhile, Maggie came back to the room and she had a lot to tell Papa. Can you hear them whispering and talking? Looks like some very serious discussion. Well, basically, I guess Papa kept asking Maggie, how was her day? Is her leg hurting? And Maggie, in her own silent way, told him what she really wanted to. Also, generally, when we go out the next day or we have a plan, we tell Maggie what our plan is. Well, God knows what she understands of it, but she really listens to it very carefully. So this was their little discussion of going on about what they're going to do the next day, how early they're going to start their day and explore the property. Isn't this amazing and adorable? Well, I love capturing these moments because just the people who are pet parents will understand these emotions. It was beautiful. Well, now it was my thought of how should I set Maggie up for dinner, for her sleeping time. Because this place was really cold and really chilly, Maggie still, even if it is a very chilly day and very chilly night, she really doesn't want to come and sleep with us. So, can you see? This was the arrangement that I made, and it was a very good one indeed. I joined into both the sofas and then I told Maggie, come here, hop in, and I've made a bed for you. Immediately, she just understood the feel of it and she quickly jumped on it. I also gave her Teddy so that she could get a comfort on this new bed of hers and placed it very close to my side of the bed. Maggie immediately lay on the bed. This bed, of course, the makeshift bed. And she kept staring at me, and I know she was very sleepy, but still she wanted to stay awake till the time we were awake. Well, gradually we put on the dim lights and we made the mood for the night so that we could sleep. And very soon Maggie, as she was observing me, she also had her eyes closed. And at night, a couple of times I woke up and I saw Maggie sleeping peacefully in this new bed of hers. Well, I realized she must have had some pain in her legs, so I gave her a little massage. But I was nevertheless very happy to see her sleep peacefully and so at rest. Can you see that smile on her face? That truly reflects that she's sleeping comfortably. And this is one place that has given her comfort on the first night itself. Well, what better sight than this for me to also just rest back and gather more of my energy for the next day. We had a lot of plans for the next day and we had to really start off very early. At 6 o'clock, we decided that we would step out of the house because the day when we came, we realized that Kodaikanal was full of tourists at that point of time. And if we don't start our day very early, we are going to get all the places very crowded. So, if you can understand, this is the next day and 6 a.m. But I'll also show you the moon, which was quite bright. And if you look at it, you would realize that as if it's almost night. But no, it had already become morning 6. Maggie, Papa and I, we woke up very early because we had a lot of other chores to finish before we had to head for the day. I also had to wake up my parents, so Maggie said, let me do the job. So she got up and she went straight to their room to give them a morning wish and also a reminder to get up and get ready so that at least by 6:30 we could head for our first destination for the next day. Here you can see Maggie eagerly going and quietly, gently giving them a call near the door. Well, my mother almost guessed that Maggie was around because now even she is used to Maggie's way of calling them. So my mother very soon opened the door and here Maggie happily went inside saying good morning to them, waking them up, and we realized that my parents were already up, also excited and going to be ready to explore the new day at Kodaikanal. Meanwhile, we told my parents that once they get ready, they can come over and we will start the journey all together. But Maggie had to be taken for her morning walk before we started the day. So my husband said, nevertheless, let us start this morning walk, and once we all are ready, we can start off for our tourist visit at Kodaikanal. Now this morning walk was extremely eventful, let me tell you. But for that, you'll have to wait for the next episode. For this episode, it was just a start kick of how Kodaikanal started up for us. Let me tell you, this place was absolutely brilliant. And the cozy cold breeze was something we really longed for just after the heat of Alleppey. And it was a complete beautiful hill station that each one of you should come at least once if you're here around the area. For us, it was the second time, but we had a wonderful time. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little snippet of Kodai, but the next episode would have a lot of it installed. But till then, bye-bye and hugs from Maggie.